This episode is all about spending money. We're gonna talk about why we spend, when we spend, and what to spend on. So stay tuned. So this episode is all about spending money. And if you're a spender like me, you're gonna be very excited about this episode because spending money is so fun. So later in the episode, we're gonna talk through some fun items that will make your life easier with Women's Day. Then we're gonna actually talk about the appropriate times for you to spend out of your emergency fund. So what is technically an emergency? And last, we're gonna hear from an amazing couple that spent a little bit more money than what they had. So they ended up going into debt, but now they are in the middle of their debt-free journey. And I cannot wait for you to hear how much they have already paid off, you guys. It's so fun. So when you think through, okay, I'm going to be spending some money, there are really a few filters as you think through, like, why do we spend? Why do we spend money? Well, number one, we spend money because it's necessary. Like, we have to spend money on things like food, shelter, utilities, transportation. I call those your four walls. So in your budget, if you don't have a budget, you need to download EveryDollar. But in your budget, those are the first four things that you do when you spend money, because you want to make sure these are covered. These are your needs. These are your necessities. Now, we also spend money because we think that it's going to make us happy. We see things we want and we're like, you know what? If I could have that, I'd be happy. And like we've talked about many times on the show, you can buy fun, but you can't buy happiness. But sometimes in our culture, in our country, we think, okay, if it's bigger, if it's better, if it's nicer, everything will be better and it'll make me happy. It'll fill this little void that I have. But when that's us, it's like we're a rat in a wheel, running, and getting nowhere, because it is so true that money cannot buy happiness. It can buy fun though. Lots of fun things, which is why the last reason we spend money is to enjoy life, because stuff is not bad. Remember, it's okay to have some nice stuff. Just don't let your nice stuff have you. But I can enjoy life, let me tell you. Yes, I can. And I can enjoy good dinners. I can enjoy great clothes. Like, you can have fun with money and enjoy it, but you want to make sure you're doing it within a plan. And that's what's key. Because if you're like me, sometimes you can go off the rails when you see a really good sale. I don't know if you're like me, but when I see that something is 40% off, I basically feel like it's free. I don't know how many times I've gone to Winston and I'm like, babe, I saved $152. He's like, well, how much did you spend? And I'm like, doesn't matter. I saved money. And this happened to me last week. And when I say last week, I mean last week. I saw Baby Gap. Baby Gap and Gap Kids, which then means their parent company, Banana Republic too, all had the same little sale going on. And I was like, oh, wow. The girls have to have matching outfits, because one of my things is like, okay, I had two girls. And so right when Caroline was born, when she was like 6 months, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy all these cute outfits together. But when a baby's like 3 months old, they're like, this. Like, they can like not even hold up their head yet. And I'm like, this looks so stupid because Caroline is in something that should be on a 3-year-old, but she's 3 months old and like, it's just not working. So I went and I said, I'm gonna halt buying matching outfits until Caroline can walk. Well, sweet little Caroline is walking around now. So now I'm like, matching outfits, now I can do it. And I went a little crazy. I did. So much so that I have a confession to make. I overspent on my clothing budget. Came into EveryDollar, I saw it, and I thought, what do I do? And then I thought, well, what do? I start splitting up this transaction, people, right? Some can go in miscellaneous, some can go in Caroline's category, some can go in my category because I technically was the one that bought it. I'm so sacrificial. I gave the girls part of my budget for the month so that they could have cute clothes. But all that to say, I can go crazy, but that's what's important, you guys, is sometimes you're gonna have to finagle the budget every now and then, but as long as you have a plan, you can spend money and find some great deals. We just have to be wise about it, because I can fall into the black hole of 40% off sales because it's so good. But remember, when you have a plan and you have a budget, you can spend things with freedom and say, hey, it's okay. So here are some really fun things that you can spend money on. I'm so excited about the next segment because these products are amazing and they're going to make your life better. They're just great. So check it out. Well, I'm so excited about this segment because there are all these incredible household items that are inexpensive that you need. And Susan Spencer, who's the editor-in-chief of Women's Day, is here with us today to explain them all. So thanks for being here.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Rachel. So I've got so many products to talk about, but these are all winners of the Women's Day Great Value Awards. So every year we put together the ultimate list of problem-solving products that don't break the bank.
Brilliant. Okay, well, I've gotten a sneak peek of a few of them, so I can't wait to see them and demonstrate them. Okay, so the first one is?
The first one is the Ziploc space bag. It costs $16.99. You get a set of 6 in this.
Okay.
And basically what this is good for is for saving space in your closet. Now, if your closet looks like mine, it's a giant explosion, and I always wanted to be more organized. So you use the vacuum attachment to kind of compress it.
And just like your regular vacuum?
Just your regular vacuum.
Okay.
Yep. And then it just kind of compresses and sucks all the air out.
You know, I've seen these. And I've never, in person, actually seen it. So, are you going to open it?
I'm going to open this right now. Stand back.
I know, I'm, so nervous.
And you're going to see what happens when it...
Oh, the amazing.
So you can really see how much space it saves. I mean, this is a pretty big blanket.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
You guys, that is amazing. So, space-saving bags. We all need them now. That's amazing.
So next we have, this is Barkeeper's Friend. It's a soft cleanser. Now this is a 136-year-old brand. It's been around for a really long time, and this is actually amazing. It shines everything.
Yes, well I have the powdered version.
Right.
And I'm obsessed with it. So this is like
This is the soft cleanser. It's a little bit easier to use on vertical surfaces. This is great on stainless steel, so if you've got a lot of little fingertips on your stainless steel fridge, it's really good for it.
Okay, so this,
so I'm gonna hold this for you. So this has actually been through the dishwasher before, and you can see it's still got a lot of guck and grime here.
Yes.
So
okay, how much do I put on?
Just a little bit. That's right, and then just use the wipe, and it's just gonna disappear. It's amazing how quickly it cleans up.
Yes.
So this is also great. We had one of our reader testers use this to shine up an old antique brass lamp, and it made it almost as good as new. So I feel like this is actually a really good secret weapon if you're a thrifter.
Yes.
Or if you buy things at garage sales and they're a little bit grody and you want to, make them a little bit nicer. Exactly.
Love it, love it.
So this is our next one. These are the Bear Swipes, and these cost $5.98, and this is a miracle product. We got so excited about this at the office, and I've used these at home, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
And basically, what they do is remove scuffs and dirt and things like that from walls without removing the paint, so you don't have to repaint an entire room.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to demonstrate if that's okay with you.
All
right, you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. If you have a child who does this, you're not going to be too happy, but you can use this wipe to actually get rid of this. This is really going to disappear.
Okay.
And so this is also really great for shoe scuffs. When if you have a shoe tree that goes up against a wall, look at this, it's completely gone. It's an absolute miracle.
Amazing. I mean.
And the paint is completely fine.
Yeah, completely taken care of.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes, it's
absolutely
miracle.
Cheap
too. And it's
That's
really
what
cheap,
I love.
and you get a really big. This is incredible value. You get a whole huge carton of these. So I really love those.
The Cruzes need that ASAP.
So speaking of cleaning up dirty, grimy things, there's nothing more disgusting than your phone.
Yes.
Right?
Oh.
And
especially after kids grab it.
Exactly. And you think about the germs and the bacteria. So these are well-kept wipes, and this is a really handy little packet.
Yes.
And this gets rid of dirt on all your technology, fingerprints, everything that just, is grimy and gross. Here you go.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And those cost $6 to $10. And it's really easy. You can just throw it in your purse.
Okay, I feel like the Cruzes need bunches of those wipes because everything's it feels so gross. So that's so good. Okay, so next we
have extreme Post-it notes. Now, these are really waterproof, super durable versions of Post-it notes. You feel that. It's kind of a really interesting kind of paper. And
it's like a mache or something.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So what we recommend that you use these for is for labeling leftovers in your fridge.
Okay.
So if your refrigerator looks like mine, it's got lots of containers in the back. Nobody's sure what's in them. Nobody touches them. Then nobody eats them. It's a huge waste of food.
Yes.
So what I've started doing is putting Post-it notes on some of the containers. so people can see. And I put it on things like this. And these go into the freezer really well too. And they
just
stay.
stays on.
And it's just an easy way to label.
Yes, I remember after having babies and people would bring you food and you'd have all these leftovers. And I would have just regular Post-it notes.
Right.
But things would fall off and I'd have like 2 or 3 at the bottom. And I was like, oh my gosh, where do they go to? I can't remember. So
Exactly.
this is excellent.
And
So good.
it's just a really good way not to waste food.
Yes, I love it.
So finally, we have the Doo-Wop Mop, and this is $29.99 for a starter kit.
Excited about this one.
This is actually a really great product.
Really fun.
So for $29.99, you get all 3 of these attachments.
Okay.
Now, what's really great about this and what makes it such a great value award winner is that it's super flexible, so you can kind of get this into all sorts of nooks and crannies. It
Yep.
also stands on its own. There you go.
Just like the most amazing thing ever.
So it's easy to use, and as I said before, when something's easy to use, then it's just such great value to you.
So good. Oh, Susan, these are so great. I'm not kidding. And all you guys, like, so inexpensive, and it makes your life better. It makes
does.
it easier. It
does.
saves time and money, and I
Yeah.
love it. So great. So you guys, make sure to check out the November issue of Woman's Day that's on newsstands today, right now, to get more information on all these great cleaning products and more. And click the link in the description for even more information. Thanks, Susan,
Thank
so
you,
much for being
Rachel.
here.
This is so
great.
fantastic.
So
Thanks.
great. Guys, let's be real. Being a parent is hard work. Now that I have 2 daughters of my own, it feels like the to-do list never ends. And as every parent knows, your priorities change and you have to make important decisions for your child's future. That's why term life insurance is a must for every parent. It's so easy to get and it's affordable. What you're looking for is 10 to 12 times your annual income to make sure everyone in your family is taken care of. Winston and I use Xander Insurance. They do all the work for you to find the best prices and options. So go to Xander.com to get started on a quote today, because that's who we trust to take care of our family.
Why do we fight with the person that we love the most?
What's crazy is one of the leading causes of divorce in America today: money fights and money problems.
Money's the #1 source of conflict. Doesn't matter how much you have, a little or a lot, it's still the source of a lot of friction. And what happens to negative feelings that we bury? They have a high rate of resurrection.
It's amazing that money hits us in a place in our marriage that no other subject does. I want you to put yourself back in the driver's seat of your life and your money, because I want you to learn to love your life, not theirs.
Your relationships can only be as healthy as you are.
Don't get on the same page with your spouse just because of your bank account. Do this for your marriage. Oh, weren't those products so fun, you guys? Like the little phone cleaner one. All day, every day. Loved it. All right, stick around to the end of this episode to find out how you could possibly win those products. Very exciting. All right, some more spending that you can do is actually when an emergency happens. So spending out of your emergency fund could be a reality for all of you. Now, your emergency fund starting out is just $1,000. Quick and easy until you get out of debt and you list out all of your debts, smallest, largest, do the debt snowball, pay off your debt, everything but the house. And then you're gonna bump up that starter emergency fund to 3 to 6 months of expenses and have that tucked away. So there is your emergency funds. Now, I don't want your emotions to trick you into thinking that something is an emergency when it's not. So here are 3 questions you can ask yourself to figure out, is this an emergency? Can I spend out of my emergency fund? Number 1, is it unexpected? Christmas? No, ma'am. Christmas is not unexpected. December 25th, every year, people. You know it's coming. That is not unexpected. Now, your car breaking down on the side of the road? Unexpected. I was gonna give you car examples. The only one I know is your tire goes flat. Stuff can happen with the engine and oil and stuff. So like if any of that happens and your car doesn't start, unexpected, for sure. Number 2, is it necessary? Whitening your teeth? No, not necessarily. Nope, don't spend out of your emergency fund for teeth whitening. Now, if you chip your tooth or your tooth goes missing, I'm gonna say it's necessary. Yeah, you may wanna fix that, be great. Number 3, is it urgent? buying a hot tub because it's 40% off. Probably not urgent. No. Unless you're on The Bachelor, that would be urgent. But your hot water heater breaks, then yeah, for sure. Let's get that fixed. That's an emergency. So if you're still not sure what a true emergency is, here are a couple of examples. Maybe you've lost your job and you have to pay bills, or you have massive unexpected home damage, like a tree falls on your house, there's a natural disaster, or a leaky roof. Those are all emergencies. So it's okay to spend out of your emergency fund. That's what it's for. That's what I love about an emergency fund. It takes a crisis and turns it into an inconvenience. Now, to give you some motivation to fund that emergency fund, check out my free goal tracker, and you can color in the progress that you make towards your goal. It's very exciting, so make sure to click the link below for that. All right, coming up next is the story of Melvin and Danielle, who are currently paying off their debt, and they just started their journey 2 months ago, you guys, and they may or may not have cut up 17 credit cards. So here's their story.
When I finally sat down and totaled everything up,
I think we're at $96,000 in student loan debt.
the thought of paying off a student loan till the age of 50, 55 just drove me nuts.
It seemed normal. Every time we talked about it, like when we brought it up with our family, they would say student loan debt is a good debt.
A good debt, yeah. I would say before financial peace, I felt I was on a marathon that was never gonna end. Like I knew debts would be paid off, but it just felt like this was a lifetime.
I felt just worried and wanting to hide from what we had gotten ourselves into. The minute we decided we were gonna do this, we literally ran with it.
Now, after financial peace, I feel like there's an end, right? There's hope.
I feel like a sense of peace literally has just washed over me.
More so than anything, definitely feel more connected to her than ever.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it, because your story, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, I want them to come on the show and talk about your journey, because you're on a very significant journey right now in life. Mm-hmm. And so tell me a little bit about where all this began.
I mean, basically, we had a mound of debt, and we realized, well, more of Melvin realized that we really need to get rid of it. And eventually he got to the point where he was so frustrated with our student loan debt, our credit card debt, and probably frustrated with me.
So you're the free spirit.
Oh, definitely.
Total nerd.
He's
there you go.
Nerd.
We're on the same team.
Yes.
Yay to free spirits. Okay, so that is one thing I get a lot, is the reluctant spouse, right? The spouse that like won't come on board. Okay, so since you were the reluctant spouse, what would you tell a spouse that is like Melvin, who wants to be on board? What would you say? Okay, this is the best way to get your free spirits honed in. What were things that helped you?
I mean, he really wanted me to get on board, but he also gave me my space to make sure, you know, I joined him on my own terms instead of just trying to drag me into it. And honestly, just seeing the worry and the fear, and I don't want him to feel like that.
Yep.
I want him to, you know, realize he's doing a great job providing for us. So I want to make sure that I made him feel like that.
Yes.
And if me being on board was going to help him and us doing this together is going to help out our family, then that's what I'm going to do too.
Yeah. So the why behind it was
Absolutely.
huge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He got to the point where he said we need to change, and he talked about ordering Financial Peace University over and over again. And eventually one night, you know, I told him, I said, if you want it so bad, just go order it.
It was kind of towards the tail end of the pay period. We didn't have anything, maybe $150 left in our bank account.
Wow,
and so we're like, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it now.
Okay, so what I think is so significant is that could have just been another night, right? Like you just bought something online, it wasn't a big deal. But you remember the night. You remember the time of day. You remember exactly where you guys were. So this was a huge pivotal point. Like it will be a memory that you probably have for the rest of your life, that moment that you decided to make that commitment to do something different is what it amounts to. So you guys started Financial Peace University, you got into the dumping debt section about getting out of debt. Okay, and then tell me what happened from there.
I think that dumping debt lesson just lit a fire in me. And I just got out of bed. I said, this is dumb. We can't do this anymore. I got the scissors. I said, we're cutting all these up. So, you know, sometimes it's hard to admit that we had 17 credit cards, you know, and it felt so good to get rid of them. It really did.
It became a whole Saturday ordeal. So literally from It must have been 7 a.m. by the time we were done with the lesson, getting the two girls up, breakfast, and then literally laying all the credit cards, letting our girls see that. And they're like, what are these, right? And what is this for? I still remember our 4-year-old asking us, well, like, what are we doing? And just giving her that experience so that she knows not to go down this path.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's like what I always tell people when they're getting out of debt. And those of you getting out of debt currently, you probably have felt this because we say you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yes.
Like it's this point, like we're done.
Yes.
Like I talk to some people and they're like, yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun to get out of debt. And I'm like, yeah, girl, that's gonna take you a long time. Like, like you can wonder your way in. You cannot wonder your way out. It has to be intentional and there has to be a lot of sacrifice. So you guys started paying off that debt. You cut up the credit cards. You started down this path. And you guys currently, you've paid off all your credit card debt already, right?
Yeah.
We're completely out of credit card debt.
Which was how much?
Maybe about $10,000 in credit card.
Yes.
Give or take. Yeah.
But since we started Financial Peace, we've paid off $19,000 in our whole total debt.
And you guys, that's in a couple of months, isn't it?
Yeah,
10 weeks.
10 weeks. Okay, so what do you attribute that to? Like, do you look at it and you're like, we're not intentional before and now we're budgeting? Is it that you're making lifestyle sacrifices? Like, how do you pay off $19,000 in a few months? Like, that's insane.
We have definitely ran with the envelope system. I think that's been the biggest thing that's helped us because we overspent a lot in going out and restaurant money. And when that envelope runs out, you're done.
Out. And if you guys don't know what it is, it's like the best system. And I did this for so long. So you cash out categories in your budget that you tend to overspend on. Most people, restaurants, groceries, clothing, all of that. So you actually have physical cash. And it's a great accountability because you see the cash and when it is gone, like you said, it's gone. And you have to make a different decision on what you're going to do.
Now it's like we're on the same page. We're looking at the same budget. We know how much we're spending for every category. And the discipline that comes in behind it, after a while, you just become to say, I really spent that much in this area? Like, what am I buying? It just really gets you to start questioning certain areas and just, like you said, definitely having the same goals.
Totally, because that's what I always tell people is like when you can agree on your money, you're agreeing on more than money. Like you're agreeing on your goals, on your dreams, where you want to go as a family, on your fears. Like so much is tied into money. So what in your marriage has changed throughout this process?
Definitely our financial communication. And it was funny, a few months before we started, he actually wanted to sit down and he asked me, what are our goals for the future? And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure. But now I don't get frustrated with that question anymore because I know exactly what we want to do. And, when we get out of debt, we want to make sure our girls have money for college so they're never in the student loan debt that we're in. That's another definitely a big part of what we're struggling with is our student loan debt. And we don't ever want them to be part of that.
Even if you're past the steps, maybe you're right now investing, you're saving for kids' college, whatever it is, no matter where you are, you're like, okay, we have a goal. And so now every dollar, we're just going to be intentional with where it goes. And it adds up so much over time. So you guys, how much debt do you have left in your...
When we started Financial Peace University, we had $116,000, and now we are down to 100.
Probably a little south of 100.
So you're tracking. Do y'all have a date in your mind? Like, have you tracked it out where you're like, our goal
is... So if nothing else were to change today, right, we're 36 months out. But now it's really just being more intentional about what else can we adjust here? Do we really need to spend? We're really having more of those discussions.
So would you say you're like in a totally different mind, emotional space than you were 6 months ago, a year ago?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing I keep telling him is even though we're not even halfway through with our debt snowball, and we're not quite there yet, I have a sense of peace and just relief, and I don't feel the weight anymore because we have our plan, we know what we're doing, and it's an amazing feeling.
Well, thank you guys so much again for coming on and sharing your story. I mean, are they not incredible? Like right now, if you don't want to run through a brick wall, I don't know what your problem is, people. Seriously, I mean, it is just remarkable. When you gain control of your money, they are living proof of it, that you have control and you have peace. And you guys, I mean, they still are in their journey of getting out of debt, but the peace of mind that comes with having a plan and knowing what to do, it changes everything. And Financial Peace University, it is seriously one of the best things you can do. If you've not signed up, sign up, click the link below, get more information. And if you want to know more about the envelope system, which is amazing too, I'll put a link down below of a video that I shot earlier on that. So make sure to check that out. You guys, you're awesome. Thanks so much again.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, the best part of the show. She works hard saving money. All right, Joanna said, we paid off all of our debt 2 years ago using Dave Ramsey's debt snowball. And then something happened and we had to use our emergency funds. And then things kept happening for 2 years. We weren't able to get our emergency fund back to $1,000 until now. Back on track, guys, and we're finally able to move on to baby step number 3. Oh, Joanna's so amazing. And doesn't that happen? It's like when it rains, it pours. You guys are doing it. I love it. Brittany said, teaching him how to work young and the value of a coupon. Christine posted her goal tracker and almost halfway through baby step 1. Oh, way to go, Christine. Okay, remember you guys, spending money is not terrible. It's not a bad thing. You can spend money just when you are in control, you have a plan, and you're not spending out of your emergency fund when it's not an emergency. Thank you so much to Melvin and Danielle for coming in. You guys stick with that journey. You guys are doing it incredible. And thank you to Susan from Women's Day. And I want you guys to actually comment below with your favorite household products. And I'll be checking those comments out later and picking one of you to win all the products that Susan talked about. So fun. Well, you guys, thank you for watching this episode. And remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.